everyone, and welcome back to First on Fraud, the podcast where we shine the spotlight on the dark side of real estate, helping you stay one step ahead of the fraud schemes. My name is Sarah Frano, and I am joined by my trusty friend, Matt Sager. Hey, Matt.
Hey, Sarah. I am so happy and excited to be doing these podcasts with you. I love the approach we're taking about making this not only informative, but trying to provide this in a fun and lighthearted manner. Because while I take fraud seriously, I don't take myself too seriously.
That's right. We want to bring you the best information, and we had our live podcast in April, and Matt, we were totally flooded with a ton of questions and comments.
A lot of questions being asked about this property monitoring service that was discussed.
Yes.
A lot of questions. So let's
I get
talk
this
about
question. Yeah, I get it all the time from people, and I'm so glad that so many people commented on it so that we could talk about this, which is you've all heard it, you've all seen it, you've heard the ads, and there any type of these services that they mention the word lock in them and your title, and the messaging around it is, lock your title, warning you that, hey, your property is going to be stolen, something like that. And so the questions I get are, what is this? And do I need it? So let's start with the, what is it?
Well, those services is a form of monitoring. It's a property monitoring. So it's if there's anything recorded against your property, you are receiving a notification that it was recorded. But I also think it's important to talk about what it's not, because I don't think you can ever really lock or prevent something from being recorded against your property.
No. And, that's the thing here, because recordation systems as we know it, they are open, meaning that the majority of counties, recorders do not have the authority to decide if a document is valid or not for recording. Their job is just to record and index so that the public can find the documents. That's it. They don't have the ability to deny something from being recorded if it is a fraudulent document or not. That's what these services do. They let you know that something has been recorded.
There's some great value in these services because it's a form of a loss mitigation. You're reducing the risk, because the sooner you know about something being recorded or done against the property, the sooner you can act. The longer it takes for you to take action against something being done against your property, the more difficult it is, and the more parties are involved, and the more complex it becomes. So it's a loss mitigation because you have the immediate information about something being recorded against your property, but it's not a loss prevention tool.
Right. And where we've seen this, and the best example I can give as to why knowing this early would be important in the whole seller impersonation scams that are happening. They're selling vacant land, and a new buyer comes in and they build a house. And there was a story in Connecticut about this happening. And the person didn't find out until after a 4,000 square foot, $1.5 million house had been built on the property, and all the old growth trees that had been there for hundreds of years have been cleared away from the property. And now you have a very big problem. And so this isn't an isolated story. This is happening anytime in these, impersonation scams. And so knowing early is that loss mitigation. You're minimizing any potential losses to you as the owner with that property. So that's a loss mitigation tool that is paid for. But Matt, there are these services out there for free, right?
There are. In fact, I signed up for it because if there's anything I like, it's free.
I do know this about you.
Proud cheapskate. Such a proud cheapskate. No, because it was two things. It was free and easy. So I even like those even better.
Even better.
So it was so easy. I went to my counter recorder site. I got in there and it had the steps for me to do it. Didn't even take 2 minutes. I just had to log my name, my email address, my property information, and I got signed up. So now I know if something gets recorded against my property, I'll receive that notification, and it didn't cost me anything. In fact, most counties across the country are offering the service. So anyone can go and sign up for this directly with the county for free.
And the question that I also got was like, how do I get this? With my county, look on your county recorder's website. There will usually be something about a property notification or a property alert. If your county doesn't have something on the website, give them a call, because it might be, through them that you sign up directly, or they may not offer it right now and they may have plans to in the future. So you can, find out what their plans are, because it does cost the county money for them to do, but they're very popular and they're going across the country.
Not only do the counties offer this, but this is something where First American offers this in certain states as well, because there's great value in knowing this. To some of our customers who have an Eagle homeowners policy, we're providing this service as well for free, where
Yes.
we're monitoring, and if something gets recorded, we'll provide you that notification.
And it's so awesome because it's in an app and it's, in the owner portal. It's fantastic. We plan to roll it out across the country. So be on the lookout for that for your owners out there. So you can also just look up properties yourself with the county recorder if your county recorder has it online, the records. But I don't think most people will do that. I'm a title nerd and I don't look at my titles. So there is value in these type of services.
Well, you said this is a great loss mitigation tool,
Right.
because you'll know about it. But there was something you mentioned in the podcast earlier that's also, I think, a helpful loss prevention tool. And you mentioned Google Alert. So why don't you tell everybody what it is and how you sign up for it?
As far as like preventing fraud, this to me is the number one thing that you can do. And that is sign up for a property alert through Google. And all you do is you go to Google, type in Google Alerts, and up will pop, and you just type in your address, type in your email, and you can set it, and Google will let you know if your property address comes up on the internet. So if your property is listed for sale through Zillow, Redfin, the like, or some of this vacant land stuff is happening through wholesale websites, if your address is mentioned on the internet, you're going to get a Google alert. So that's the best, to me, free thing that you can do for prevention. And it's another tool in our fraud prevention, loss mitigation, and fraud tool belt. And with that, Matt, I think we have wrapped it up for today on this great topic. Thank you guys all for those questions from the live session. We appreciate it. And if you missed it, it is available in our library there. So check it out.
If you got a great tip or a story or something you want us to talk about in a future podcast, please reach out to us. We would love to hear from you. Love your comments, love your questions. So please share.
First on Fraud at firstam.com. And if you learned something today, hit that follow, tap that like, and don't keep knowledge to yourself, because remember, stay informed, because scammers thrive when you are in the dark. And with that, we will see you all next time. Thank you. This episode is copyright 2025 by First American Financial Corporation, all rights reserved.